What up, y'all? This is your boy, Mr. Downtown Ray Mellon. You're listening to the Entertainment Report for Monday, July 14, 2014, delivering some of the major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment. You can follow the show on Facebook and Twitter, facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Mellon, that's RAYMELO, and on Twitter at The Enter Report. With the help of a walker and an assistant, comedian Tracy Morgan nonetheless showed signs of positivity, throwing a big smile on the peace sign to reporters camped out in front of his house as he got into a car. In a video captured outside Morgan's home on Monday, the comedian seemed to struggle with walking and getting into his vehicle, but then gave spectators a sign that he is in good spirits. When he drove past the applauding throng of supporters, he confirmed, "I'm okay, I feel strong, I love you, thank you very much." On June 7th, Morgan was involved in a multiple vehicle car accident that left him in critical condition and killed 63-year-old comedian James McNair, who performed as Jimmy Mack. 4 others in Morgan's vehicle were also hospitalized when Walmart truck driver Kevin Roper allegedly fell asleep at the wheel. As of July 12th, Morgan left the rehabilitation center and has continued his recovery at home. Last Thursday, Morgan filed a lawsuit against Walmart over the fatal car accident that also injured comedian Algerly Folklore Jr. and Jeffrey Menlenia. Conor Oberest, the Bright Eyes frontman, probably breathing a sign of relief right now. He has been exonerated from the rape accusations that have plagued him for the past several months. Joan Elizabeth Harris, a.k.a. Joanne Faircloth, has withdrawn her accusations, admitting that her claims against the singer are 100% false in a statement issued on Monday. Harris further admitted that she made up the claims to, quote, "get attention while I was going through a difficult period in my life and trying to cope with my son's illness," end quote. Harris had added, "I publicly retract my statements about Conor Oberest and sincerely apologize to him, his family, and his fans for writing such awful things about him. I realize that my actions were wrong and that could undermine the claims of actual sexual assault victims, and for that I also apologize." The accusations first surfaced early this year in the comments section of an article published by XOJane by a woman who'd had an abusive relationship with the musician, Spin reports. The comment read, "I was raped by a rock star myself. I was 16 years old. He was in his 20s. This guy is the poster boy for what was known as emo," end quote. Oberest was later called out by name in a subsequent comment in which Harris claimed that Oberest's brother was her English teacher and had introduced her to the musician for her 16th birthday. The musician's team steadfastly denies the claim at the time, calling them absolutely unequivocally false. Rosie O'Donnell responds to Elisabeth Hasselback by rehashing the View torture fight that they had back in 2007 on Twitter. The two argued on air over the morality of torture back in 2007, and O'Donnell revisited their heated debate Sunday by posting a clip on Twitter. The shouting match started during the panel's discussion of a Guantanamo Bay detainee who was being held in custody without being charged, and eventually wound up touching upon the controversial topics like American interrogation techniques, the Patriot Act, and basic human rights. O'Donnell argued passionately against torture, while Hasselback admitted she'd rather her country be safe than well-liked. Hasselback reignited the duo's long-running feud last week when she spoke out about O'Donnell's impending View return during a call-in on Fox and Friends' July 10th episode. She said to her Fox and Friends co-host, "Talk about not securing the border. Here and comes to the View, the very woman who spit in the face of our military, spit in the face of her own network, and really in the face of a person who stood by her and had civilized debates for the time that she was there, coming back with a bunch of control ready to regain a seat at the View table. Not surprisingly, I think that it's been in the works for a long time," end quote. Former View co-host Joy Behar took issue with Hasselback's comments, calling them below the belt, and current View moderator Whoopi Goldberg also chimed in, promising that the show would continue to evolve and that all parties involved were grown-ass women and would behave as such on the show. Donald Trump, who has famously feuded with O'Donnell, added his 2 cents, calling ABC's move to bring her back desperate. Following Mario Götze's extra-time goal, which held Germany to a 1-0 win over Argentina in the World Cup final, Joachim Löw's men partied long into the night, with some of his players taking the opportunity to celebrate with pop star Rihanna. The Barbados-born singer had made no secret of her love for football and had kept her 36 million followers on Twitter entertained throughout the World Cup with her views on matches and players. So it came as no surprise to see Rihanna in the stands for the final at the Macarena Stadium in Rio de Janeiro. Though she had often showed her support for host nation Brazil during the tournament, Rihanna was fully behind the Germans in the showpiece final, having earlier posted on Twitter an image of her in a German-inspired swimsuit. Tweeting her support for Germany throughout the game, the singer then had the chance to revel in the post-match celebrations and did so by posting a number of pictures with the World Cup winners. Clutching the replica Jules Rimet trophy in her hand, Rihanna was showered in kisses by Arsenal's Lukas Podolski and Bayern Munich's Bastian Schweinsteiger, before moving on to goal scorer Mario Götze. Sunday's World Cup final broke records on Facebook and Twitter. Germany produced just one goal in its win over Argentina in Sunday's World Cup final, but the game produced a record number of Facebook and Twitter posts. According to Twitter, there were a record of 618,725 tweets per minute at one point during Germany's 1-0 win, outpacing the 580,166 tweets per minute peaking during Germany's 7-1 semi-victory over Brazil. Overall, there were 32.1 million tweets about the game sent during the telecast, Twitter said, or about 3.5 million shy of the record 35.6 million generated during Germany's drubbing of Brazil. Twitter even produced a global heat map of the tweets set during Sunday's final. Sunday's game was even bigger hit for Facebook. The World Cup final was the most discussed sporting event ever on Facebook, with an estimate of 280 million interactions, likes, posts, and comments from 88 million users about the game. That's roughly 35 million more interactions than the record 245 million established during the 2013 Super Bowl, Facebook said. The month-long World Cup generated 3 billion Facebook interactions overall. Nick Rudin, Facebook's director of global media partnerships, told Reuters, "We knew the World Cup was going to be big, but this level of engagement is remarkable. It was the highest level of conversation around a single event that we have ever measured." The wife of Love and Hip Hop star Yung Joc must have finally reached her tolerance level of watching her husband and his mistress on TV, so she's pulling the plug on their marriage. Alexandria Robinson filed to divorce the 31-year-old rapper. They were high school sweethearts and have been married for 13 years. They have 3 kids. Alexandria acknowledges in her document she and Joc has been separated since February 2012. She wants to work, spousal and child support. She says she only pulls in $1,875 a month, but she's banking on getting royalties from his music publishing rights. Not surprisingly, Alexandria cites adultery as grounds for the divorce. Joc has been carrying a high-profile relationship with Carly Reed on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. They live together on the show, and the girlfriend gets really pissed off when she suspects he's cheating on her. Octomom just coped a plea in her welfare fraud case, and the good news for her, the felonies were dropped and she won't get jail time. Nadia Suleiman was facing 3 felonies for failing to disclose around $25,000, mostly from her sex tape masturbation video. Octo pleaded no contest to 1 misdemeanor welfare fraud. She already paid the ill-gotten money back and must perform 200 hours of community service. She was placed on 2 years probation. Octo has to pay $9,805 to Medi-Cal, $16,481 to the LA County Department of Public Social Services, which includes frauds over food stamps. It's common in welfare fraud cases for the DA to charge first-time welfare fraud recipients with a felony and then reduce it to a misdemeanor once the money is paid back. Camille Grammer, ex-wife of Kelsey Grammer, has lashed out at her ex-boyfriend, suing him for beating her up in a Dallas hotel room last year and humiliating her by shoving a hot dog in her mouth. Camille claims in her suit filed by Larry Stein, Dimitri Charmalopoulos beat her up to a pulp in the hotel room just after she returned from the hospital after undergoing cancer surgery. Kelsey's ex is now counter-suing Dimitri after he sued her for defamation, claiming her story is true and she has more than enough photos, witnesses, and other evidence to establish it. As for the hot dog allegation, Camille says Dimitri is a drunk, and once during a trip to Hawaii, he was doing so many shots, she asked him to stop. She She says he reacted by shoving a hot dog in her mouth and commenting how much she enjoyed having hot dogs crammed down her throat. And this allegation is even more shocking. Camille claims just after her surgery, Dimitri came into the hospital while she was still hopped up on drugs. She says he put a ring on her finger, which she thought was sweet, until she became lucid a day or two later and noticed the ring had a plastic penis on it, and she was wearing it in front of her family and the hospital. Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, and Jay-Z tipped their caps off to Yankees shortstop Derek Jeter in a touching tribute video. Titled Respect, with the number 2 replacing the S, the spot already has 1 million views and giving some viewers chills. Nike's Jordan brand has released a video that serves as the tip of the cap to New York Yankees captain Derek Jeter, who will be retiring from baseball after the season. Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, and Jay-Z paid tribute to the iconic shortstop along with Billy Crystal, former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani, Phil Jackson, and Carmelo Anthony, as well as players from the Yankees' arch nemesis, the Boston Red Sox, and the team's crosstown rival, the New York Mets, among many others. Jeter, who is 40 years old, is retiring after a 20-year career that saw him win multiple World Series championships. Jeter will leave the game as one of the most respected veterans, having never run afoul of the laws of the Major League Baseball PED scandal. Title Respect, after Jeter's jersey number, which is number 2, the spot will debut on TV on Tuesday night during Jeter's last All-Star game. Weird Al Yankovic, once again, has claimed the role as being the king of parody. He wrote a parody version of Pharrell's ubiquitous smash Happy, and now the world's leading purveyor of pop silliness has done just that with Tacky, a hilarious cut from his 14th studio LP, Mandatory Fun. Nerdist premiered the song's cameo-laden video, which includes Yankovic and comedy friends Jack Black, Margaret Cho, Aisha Tyler, and Kristen Schaal, and Modern Family's Eric Stonestreet, grooving through the Los Angeles Palace Theater, the same setting for Julianne Moore's apartment in The Big Lebowski. Weird Al is in fine form through the track, showing his smooth falsetto on lines to demonstrate the various ways a person can be tacky in the 21st century, from taking a coupon book on a date to Instagramming pictures of your meals to owning a YOLO license plate to twerking in line at the DMV. Are you pregnant, girl, or just really fat? Yankovic sings at one point, mimicking Pharrell's smooth delivery as the music follows the smooth jazz funk flow of the original. Can Nothing Bring Me Shame, our tacky hero croons in the signature clap breakdown. It's hard to pick the song's best line, but a good quote would be, "Got my new resume, it's printed in Comic Sans," or live tweet a funeral, take selfies with the deceased. Mandatory Fun Out, which is going to be in stores on Tuesday, features parodies of Lords Royals, Imagine Dragons Radioactive, Robin Thicke's Blurred Lines, of course, and Iggy Azalea's Fancy, along Styles' parodies of the Pixies and Cat Stevens. As Stereo Gum notes, the album is Yankovic's final release in his current contract with RCA. The parody master recently told the New York Post that he's interested in self-releasing future material, saying the album format doesn't seem to be the best for my stuff. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes delivered beyond expectations in a $73 million 3D sci-fi thriller, a sequel to the 2001 reboot Rise of the Planet of the Apes, ended the 2-week run of Transformers Age of Extinction atop the domestic box office, which has been running nearly 20% down from last year. The big opening by Apes won't reverse that. The weekend was still off nearly 25% from the same frame a year ago, but it does dispel concerns that the summer was heading for a free fall after a disastrous July 4th week. The Man vs. Primate tale set in San Francisco, ravaged by a global pandemic, worked for the critics. It is at 82% on Rotten Tomatoes, and opening weekend audiences awarded it an A- cinema score. I said earlier, coming in at number 2 is Transformers Age of Extinction, released by Paramount in its third release. It made $16.5 million this weekend with a cultivated gross of $209 million. At number 3 was the Melissa McCarthy comedy Tammy, released by Warner Brothers in its second weekend release. It made $12.9 million this weekend. At number 4, 22 Jump Street, released by Sony in its fifth weekend release, made $6.7 million, giving it an estimated gross of $172 million so far. Number 5 was the animated movie How to Train Your Dragon 2 from Fox. In its fifth week release, it made $5.8 million. Number 6 was Earth to Echo, released by Relativity. In its second weekend release, it made $5.5 million. Number 7, Deliver Us from Evil from Sony. In its second release, it made $4.7 million. Number 8 is the Angelina Jolie movie Maleficent from Disney. And its seventh weekend release, it made $4.1 million. Number 9, Begin Again from Weinstein Studios. In its third weekend release, it made $2.9 million. And number 10 was Clint Eastwood's directing the film adaptation of the Broadway hit Jersey Boys, released by Warner Bros. Studios. In its fourth week release, it made $2.5 million.
And finally, congratulations to Jersey Shore reality star JWoww. She gave birth to her first child, a baby girl named Melanie Alexandra Mathews, on Sunday, July 13th. U.S. Weekly confirmed. JWoww and her fiance Roger Mathews are so excited to welcome the newest Guidette, Melanie Alexandra Mathews, to the world, weighing 7 pounds 13 ounces. JWoww's rep told U.S. Weekly, Melanie and her parents are doing great and are happy and healthy. Melanie is already looking to trade her baby bottle for barbells. Engaged to beau Roger Mathews since September 2012, the 27-year-old Jersey Shore alum documented her pregnancy on social media leading up to her daughter's birth. Just days before welcoming her little mini-me, new mom shared a picture of her baby bump on her blog with the caption, "My final baby bump pic before giving birth. It better be. Can't wait to meet my baby girl." JWoww got her start on MTV's Jersey Shore before starring on a spin-off series with pal Snooki. A rep for MTV told U.S. Weekly in a statement, "We are fist-pumping in celebration of Jenny, JWoww Farley, and Roger Mathews' new baby girl, Melanie Alexandra Mathews. We are so excited for the new parents and to welcome the newest member to the MTV family." Farley, or JWoww, also enjoyed spending time with pregnant BFF Nicole Snooki Polizzi during her pregnancy. Snooki, who was expecting her second child, told us in April, "Jenny and I are always talking about being pregnant together. I'm so excited to go through this experience with my best friend." So congratulations to her. And that is your entertainment report for Monday, July 14, 2014. I'm your host, Mr. Downtown Ray Mello. I'll be back tomorrow delivering some of the major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook and Twitter, facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Mello. That's RAYMELO. And on Twitter @The Enter Report. See you again tomorrow. Bye.